think we should be good. I think we should be good. All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning here on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put in a book, we absolutely will find it. This is where we get together for 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day to keep broke away. And so we're going to be going through and continuing on through the book, How to Be Rich. How to Be Rich. Why not you? All right, compact wisdom from the world's greatest wealth builders. Now, we understand that, unfortunately, I don't have Facebook, Abraham Helomine, but you can go check out www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Highlight video. No, I don't want to do that. What does that mean? We're going to just report that comment. Spam. All right, my beautiful people. So what we're doing is going through 30 minutes a day to keep broke away. 30 minutes a day to keep broke away. And I just want to thank you guys for continuing to press on, waking up early in the morning to read and to level up financially. You change the ways you think, you'll change your life forever. You change the ways you think, you'll change your money. You fix your mind and you will fix everything else in your life. And so very simple premise. As a man or as a woman thinketh, so is she. So what is it? How is it that you perceive this thing called life? And what are you getting out of life? And so we've been going through how to be rich. And we're talking about attitudes that stand between us and money. Attitudes that stand between us and money. We've covered procrastination. We've covered fear, worry, drifting into negativity. And we're still going to be talking about fear today, I guess. That's what we're going to get into to continue on in our discussion about attitudes that stand between us and money. Hey, I've been up for a little while this morning, so I'm a little tired. Been doing some work, been taking care of the website and things like that. You can just check us out. You can shop with us at www.ERGJ Black Bazaar, ERGJ Black Bazaar. You can find that in the bottom of the post here for YouTube Live. But hey, man, like I said, I just like to get started right on time. Let's get right into it. It's time to get this show on the road. DJ, hit the music.
Oh, the words from the pages change your world. Your world, they can change your heart. They can change your mind. They can change your life. The world can change your world.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today, New Black Wall Street Book Club. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, CEO of ERGJ Black Bazaar, and CEO of ERGJ Black Bookstore. Also, international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That's right. The Black Billionaires Club is over in 6 different countries at this time. And it's a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just believe that if you want to be wealthy, you should study wealthy people. Well, you can pick this book up at theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Get your copy today. I mean, you got to ask yourself, if you're talking about being wealthy, why don't you have this book in your library? It doesn't make sense. But you can get it today. You can go ahead and take care of that. Move immediately towards the things that you know are going to help you to help yourself. That's right. Move immediately to get to those things that you know are going to help you help yourself. Good morning, by the way. Thanks so much for joining wherever you are connecting from. Go and let us know where you're connecting from as well. We're broadcasting right here from ERGJ Studios, right here in Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur. Where's greater? Good morning to you, Miss LaShonda, and whoever else may be joining us on YouTube Live and Instagram Live. Now, we're going to start today by going through our Millionaire Mindset Makeover. That's right, changing the way that we think with these flashcards, our makeover flashcards. These are available as well. You can get these for $20. It's 21 days. 21 days to change a habit. 21 days to change the ways you think. 21 days. And we're day number 5. And it says this: I will be all that I'm designed to be. Despite the challenges that come, I will fulfill my purpose. Everybody put in console, I will fulfill my purpose. I will fulfill my purpose. Let me repeat this again for the people in the back. I will be all that I'm designed to be, despite the challenges that come. I will fulfill my purpose. Now I'm super excited because I just landed a gentleman, an older gentleman, to come be with us on Monday, and we're going to be going through affirmation. So I'm going to try to have like affirmation Monday. I'm not quite sure it's going to be here on YouTube Live, but it'll be somewhere. So I was able to lock that down. So coming this Monday, we're going to have Monday affirmations to help start our week off thinking the right way, believing the right way, and manifesting the right way. So we're going to be doing that. And this is just one of those things that you can do, flashcards, to help you manifest into your life. You know, speak those things that be not as though they were, right? You change your conversation, change your language, which begins with change the way you think. Again, you'll change your life forever. Now, I showed you the book, got the flashcards. All you gotta do is inbox us and let us know whatever it is that you like to get, and we can get that thing out to you ASAP Rocky. Of course, the book that we're reading today, we do have copies of that as well. Got about 10 copies, I think 9 copies now. How to Be Rich. You can order that right through us. Just inbox us, let us know you want to get the book. We'll get that thing out to you ASAP Rocky. Let's get right into what we're going to talk about today. Attitudes that stand between us and money. So we're going to pick up where we left off at yesterday, listening to, I believe it was Ralph Waldo Trine. He's talking about fear and worry, the enemies of wealth. He's talking about the enemies of wealth. When we pick up today, it says 2 things never to worry about. 2 things never to worry about. It says there are 2 things, says the thoughtful writer, which will make us happy in this life if we attend to them. The first is never to vex ourselves about what we cannot help. Never to vex ourselves about what we cannot help. And the second, never to vex ourselves about what we can help. Happiness has always keeps considerably ahead of the one who is given to the habit of either fear or worry. Such a one seems to have the faculty of helping, at least to keep it away from others. We all have our weak points. For anything approaching an ideal growth and development and thereby attainment, we must, as we sometimes say, call ourselves up specifically now and then. We get so accustomed to running in ruts that we can never hope for anything other than a limited or a one-sided development unless we do this occasionally. We must remember that by fear and worry, nothing is ever to be gained. By fear and worry, nothing is to ever be gained, but much is always to be lost. By this negative attitude of the mind, we open the doors many times for the entrance of the very conditions we fear may come upon us. When the fear becomes sufficiently deep-seated, we many times invite what we fear, just as by a different attitude of mind, we invite and attract the influences and conditions we desire. Subtle, but always working in all powerful are the operations of the thoughts and the emotions. And it is here that we must look for the bulk of whatever comes in our lives. A deep psychological law was undoubtedly at work in the life of him who said, "For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me." It would seem almost better that a certain percentage of the things we worry about do come upon us or come about, so that they do their worst and be done with it, as we say, rather than we remain continual slaves to the host of things that we fear may come and that we ceaselessly worry about. But the interesting part is that hardly any of these things ever do come. Even remembering this fact does not seem to be able to teach us the folly and the utter uselessness of these habits. How many bridges do we mentally cross that we eventually find we never really do have to cross at all? Oh, think about that. How many bridges do we mentally cross that we eventually find we really never do have to cross at all? Now, what is that saying, guys? It's saying that are you visualizing or imagining things that may never happen? Concerned about things that may never happen. Worried about things that will or may never happen. Now, this is interesting. As I think about these words, fear and worry, it's almost as if we're fearful of the past and we're worried about the future. Which says to me that if you want to get away from fear, you want to get away from worry, you just live in the moment. Everybody put in the console, live in the moment. I mean, to be fearful of your past, what has happened, and thinking that because that has happened before, it'll happen again, And then to be worried about the future, what has never happened, but you've seen maybe something happen in somebody else's life. To be worried about the future. Why not just live in the moment? Because quite honestly, the moment is all you have. Right now is all you got. So why spend time concerning yourself with that which may never happen, or that which has already happened? It doesn't make any sense. Live in the moment. We'll not only be surprised, but astounded if we really knew the number of people who have grown habitually timid in their minds and spirits, and whose bodies have been reduced to a low and sluggish tone through the influences we are addressing. The number of people living way below par, mentally and physically, as an effect of fear and worry is simply enormous. In addition to the general lowering of practically all bodily functions and powers, in thousands of cases, fear and worry focus their effects on specific ailments and diseases, according to particular weaknesses of the individual in whose life they gain a foothold. The law of correspondence is wonderfully exact in its workings. We are what we repeatedly do. That's by Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Now, that's a very interesting quote, because it didn't say that we are what we repeatedly think about. It says that we are what we repeatedly do. How many of you guys know that you could be thinking about something totally different, but be doing something different? You can be thinking about one thing, but be doing another. We are what we repeatedly do, not necessarily what we repeatedly think about. Now, here's a wonderful thing. What you think about, what we think about repeatedly, typically will come to pass. What we think about repeatedly, what we focus on, typically we will have at some point in time, in some time frame. But what we do is right now. What we do is for the moment. What we do is our actions for today. We are what we repeatedly do. Good morning to you, pardon this, I don't know. Good morning to you, Instagram Live. Good morning to you, Mr. Mark Daniels. Now, that was from Ralph Waldo Trying the New Alignment of Life. That was written back in 1918. Just imagine this. Some of this stuff written 100 years ago and is still relevant today. 1918, that's 100 years ago, was someone wrote something about their perspective on life. And 100 years later, that perspective is still relevant because life really doesn't change much over time. Good morning to you, Miss Yes, Janae. What's going on with you? Now, Julia Senton, she goes on to talk about never fear despite an empty purse. Look at this. Regardless of what your bank account looks like, don't fear. And regardless of how much, how little you might have left, don't fear. Never fear despite an empty purse. Uh-oh. Let's see what Miss Julia Senton has to say today. Now, again, we're going through the book, How to Be Rich. Now, I don't know about you, but if you want to be rich, I got to ask you, why don't you have this book yet? Why not? Why not invest $15 to get the book that can help you change the way that you think? I don't know. It just seems, I guess that's difficult for some people to invest in themselves. Very sad, by the way. Julia Sinton goes on to say this: the thing we fear always comes upon us. Fear is just as direct a line of relationship as love. It is not the amount we spend that counts, but the way in which we spend it. Think about that. It's not the amount that you spend, but it's the way in which you spend it. Uh-oh. Well, that's interesting. We can spend our last dollar knowing internally that it is impossible for us to become penniless. When we then get a position which will not only let that dollar go, but will bring us another one of the same line of transference. When we are alone in a strange city and look into our wallet and find not a penny, the way to keep it empty is to recognize this lack and become paralyzed with fear and anxiety for tomorrow. Most people do this without knowing the laws they are setting into motion. This very recognition establishes their relationship with the things they do not want. When we teach ourselves to look into an empty purse with the same feeling of opulence that we should have if we saw $1,000 in it, then we have laid hold of the energy that creates. And no power on earth can prevail to keep that purse empty. It is not in the doing, but in the being opulent that we then get the power. We must know how to look behind the things created, notes and coins, into the energy that creates. And this recognition held steadfastly brings life into relation with higher lines of attraction. Now, this is very interesting to me. Julia Seton back in 1917, she wrote this. It's the Key to Health, Wealth, and Love by Julia Seton. Now, she's saying that, hey, when you look at your wallet, don't necessarily just look at what is there and what is not there. Understand, everybody put it down, so understand that there's an energy that creates. And you and I have been given the power to create. But many of us just haven't tapped into that power yet. Many of us don't understand that power yet. Many of us don't even use that power yet. The power to create. We got it. It's been given to us. Matter of fact, create has made creatures, and we have become creatures of habits. Let me ask you this morning, as you think about that wallet that you got, as you think about your bank account, as you think about the money that you got saved up, right? Are you creating more? Did you not create that situation? Did you not accept something? As you think about the money that you have or don't have, are you willing to use the power that you got to create more? Create. Don't pursue. Here's James Allen. This is one who wrote As a Man Thinketh. Mr. James Allen says, self-pity pushes wealth away. So attitudes that stand between us and wealth. We had procrastination. We had fear, worry. Now, self-pity. Self-pity. Have you ever come across somebody who's just filled with self-pity? Like they talk themselves down. They don't believe in themselves. They feel like the world has let them down. Self-pity pushes away wealth. He goes on, Mr. James Allen goes on to say, do not complain that the rich oppress you. Are you sure that if you gain riches, you would not be an oppressor yourself? Remember that there's the external law and eternal law, which is absolute just, and that those who oppress today must themselves be oppressed tomorrow. And from this, there is no way of escape. And perhaps yesterday you were rich and an oppressor, and now you're merely paying off the debt that you owe to the great law. Practice, therefore, fortitude and faith. Everybody put it down, so fortitude and faith. Practice, therefore, fortitude and faith, and dwell constantly upon the eternal justice, the eternal God, the eternal good. Endeavor to lift yourself above the personal and the transitory into the impersonal and permanent. Shake off the delusion that you are being injured or oppressed by another. Try to realize by a more profound comprehension of your inner life and the laws that govern that life that you are only readily injured by that which is within you. That which is within you. Right? Let me say that again. Shake off the delusion. Shake off the delusion that you're being injured or oppressed by another. Try to realize by a more profound comprehension of your inner life and the laws that govern the life that you are only really injured by what is within you. Now, let me give you an example. You're only really injured by that which is within you. And I used to use this example because what I find is that people are moved by what's in them. For example, if I got Tiasha Janae here, if somebody came to Tiasha Janae today and said, you know what, Tiasha, you're just stupid, right? If there's no inkling of stupidity within her, she would just shake that comment off like, what the hell ever, let me keep on going, right? And then if another person came to Tiasha and said, Tiasha, you know what, I just think you're ugly. Well, if there was no inkling of ugliness within her, she would just shake that thing off and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine as wine, and keep on moving. But we typically find that there's something within us that may be receptive to an insult or to some type of fault, and we think that it's them that's oppressing us or them that's causing us to feel some type of angst. It's about what's in you. And so if somebody finds out what's in you and then they bring that out, then you might be offended, right? And, it may not be the looks. It may not be the success. It may be something else. But I typically find that whatever is within the individual, that comes out when it's spoken to. And it's like, oh, that's what it is. That's where you're uncomfortable. That's where you have some low self-esteem. That's where you need to, that's a place for you to recognize and then to get better at. But if it's not in you, if it ain't in you, it ain't gonna bother you one bit. You're like, whatever you talk about, brother, to each his own. Whatever you think about, that's what you think. And so I want you to think about right now, maybe a pet peeve, or maybe think about the last time you got angry. And ask yourself, was you angry because of someone else, or did you really get angry because of something that's in you? For example, one of the things that really bothers me is when people waste my time. And so I have to understand that I like to be on time, even though most of my people don't mind being late. That's not me. So I simply don't hang out with people who waste time, because I know I'm going to get irritated by them wasting time, by them taking, for example, the Black Billionaires Club, right? It doesn't matter how many messages I put out, how many times I told people the September 4th is going to be the last day. This is the cutoff for you to be able to get the special. Don't you know some people still hit me up this morning, last night, yesterday, today, like, hey, I forgot to go ahead and get the special. Well, I guess you ain't gonna be able to get the special because it's no longer available. But it's just but in my old days, before I understood that this bothers me, and before I started to work on it and fix it, I really would have got heated. I probably would have cussed them out or something like that. It's like, what the hell, you know? But now that I realize that I just like to do stuff and do it early. That's just me. I don't want to hang around people who wait till the last minute. I don't want to be around them because I don't want to be like them. And so if you find yourself having some area where you're lacking in control, where you just don't believe just yet, I'm telling you, you got to watch who you hang around and change that circle and get around people who are strong in that area. What is it that really ticks you? And you think it's because of somebody else. It's because of what they did. No, it could be something that you grew up with. It's something that's in you that allows them to tick you off, that allows them to annoy you, that allows them to frustrate you. It's something in you. Now, I don't know. I think for me, it's a recognition point. It's like, oh, well, I got mad. Why did I get so mad? Because really getting upset and all that stuff, it just leads to stress. It just leads to stuff that you don't want in your life. It don't lead to happiness. It don't lead to peace. It don't lead to joy. So then I know that it does not lead me where I want to go. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Right? You can't, and here's the thing. We can't expect them to change. I want you to understand it. You have to stop expecting other people to change. I don't even have to say anything else other than this one message today. Stop expecting other people to change. You change. You see what I'm saying? Stop expecting other people to change. What did Oprah say? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Stop expecting them to change who they are. You change. Now, that don't mean you change who you are. That just means, hey, maybe you need to adjust to how you deal with them. Maybe that's it. See, some people, I'm telling you, I like to talk about time because this is my thing. Like, listen, if we say we're going to meet at 6, I plan to meet you at 6. Now, here's why it bothers me. Because I have taken time out of my day to make sure I dressed in time, I left early enough, I got there on time, and I set a block of time away for me to be able to give you or give whoever my undivided attention. And to me, that's worth a whole bunch. My undivided attention is worth a whole bunch of money. And so for me, when someone doesn't value that which I've set apart for them, that which I've said, hey, I'm going to cut the phone off. I'm going to give you my undivided attention. I'm going to be engaged with you through this time frame. For someone not to appreciate that by showing up on time, for me, that's a red flag. That tells me I need to make an adjustment because clearly this person doesn't care what time they get to wherever it is they got to go. And I ain't a person that I'm trying to be around. Why? Because that's not the type of person I'm trying to be. My word is my word. If I'm going to be there at 6, I'm going to be there at 6. Some people don't have that code. They don't live by that code. That's okay. They can live without me, or they can live not without me, but I don't have to hang around. I don't have to set appointments with these people. I don't have to meet them. I might just see them passing by. I might see them at the family reunion. I might see them at the cookout, but I don't have to make plans to see them because clearly making plans to see them doesn't work. But I don't expect for them to change. So I change. That makes sense? I'm telling you, this is probably going to alleviate a lot of stress in your life if you simply stop expecting other people to change. They might change. They might get the point. It might happen one day, but don't expect it. Why? Because you can't control if they change or not, but you can control if you change. Now, things will change for you, not when other people change. Things will change for you. Your life will change when you change, not them. How many guys know some people who spend all day trying to change other people and spend no time changing themselves? Let me say that again for the people in the back. How many guys know some people that spend all their time trying to change other people? I like to call this manipulation, by the way. But anyway, they spend all their time trying to change and control other people. And they spend no time changing and controlling themselves. What's that like? Spend all your day trying to control, manipulate, and change other people. But you spend no time controlling and changing yourself. There's a practice more degrading, debasing, and soul-defying than that of self-pity. There's no practice more degrading, more debasing, and soul-destroying than that of self-pity. Cast it out from you. While such a canker is feeding upon your heart, you can never expect to grow into a fuller life. Cease from the condemnation of others. Instead, condone none of your acts, desires, or thoughts that will not bear comparison with spotless purity or endure the light of sinless good. By so doing, you will be building your house upon the rock of the eternal, and all that is required for your happiness and well-being will come to you in its own time. There is positively no way of permanently rising above poverty or any undesirable condition except by eradicating those selfish and negative conditions within, of which these are the reflection, and by virtue of which they continue. The way to true riches is to enrich the soul. Everybody put in console, enrich the soul. Enrich the soul by the acquisition of virtue. This is interesting. Ms. James Allen is saying that you can acquire virtue. Outside of real heart virtue, there is neither prosperity nor power, but only the appearances of these. I'm aware that people make money who have acquired no measure of virtue and have little desire for virtue, but such money does not constitute true riches, and its possession is transitory and feverish. The prosperity of the wicked was a great trial to King David until he went to the sanctuary of God, and then he knew their end. You likewise may go into that sanctuary. It is within you. It is that state of consciousness that remains when all that is sorted, personal, and impermanent is risen above, and universal and external principles are realized. It is within you. Mr. James Allen. It is within you. And self-pity pushes wealth away. Have you ever seen someone who is mired in self-pity and they're well off? They're doing good in life. They're succeeding. To be mired in self-pity, it normally means that normally shows that you're drifting into negativity. And these are places that wealth just simply does not remain. It doesn't last long. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day to keep broke away. At this time, I'd like for you to share with us your thoughts about today's episode. Simply says this, that price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Think about the price you paid to be here, that you decided to show up, that you decided to connect with us. That price, your time, and 30 minutes of your day, gone. But the question is, as you think about the value, was it worth your time and why? The comments below, go ahead and share with us, was it worth your time and why? Now, while you guys are doing it, I know I talk faster than you type, and hopefully you've learned something today. I do ask a couple of favors. Number one, that you go ahead and hit that like button or subscribe button or whatever it is. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Instagram Live, hit the heart button. Make sure that you follow whatever platform you're connecting from today, right? And ask yourself, was today worth my time, my 30 minutes, and why? That's a great question to ask. As I always say, man, it's a law of reciprocity, that you become a giver, a cheerful giver, a giver of your feedback, a giver of your likes, a giver of your love, a giver of a lot of things that don't cost you a dime. Just a quick click and some typing will do. This is your way of just giving feedback to us, saying, hey, man, this is worth continuing, that we need more of this. So we can level up our mind and we can change the way that we think and change our life forever. As a man or as a woman thinketh, so is he. Well, guys, I want you to remember this, that it takes a village. And it starts with us. It starts with a man or woman looking in the mirror and deciding if they're going to be the change that they want to see. Let's build, people. Let's build these bank accounts. Let's build our businesses. Let's build this community. Let's build each other. And let's do it together. As Monica Allen says, value only I can change. I can't change others. People who wallow in self-pity can't remain successful. Absolutely. Thanks so much for that, Miss Monica. We all we got, people. But guess what? That's enough. Now, I pray to God to preserve each and every one of you, that you woke up today with a goal and you're ready to go crush that goal. And I hope and pray that he will keep you preserved until tomorrow, where we can meet again right here, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fun Friday for the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Until that time, you know what time it is. DJ, hit the music.